where we hope to provide you with data that you can use to better inform your wagering decisions. Thank you again for joining us this evening. And we're going to go preview some games for this weekend that are on the college football slate and the NFL slate. And these are my picks. So we'll get into them in a second. But first, I want to let you know about a promotion that BetQL is running right now. You can get 20% off any BetQL subscription by using the promo code CHAN. A subscription gives you access to the BetQL model. You can choose one sport, two sport, or all sports. You can choose weekly, monthly, or yearly options. There are VIP options available as well. So if you want to subscribe to BetQL, use the promo code CHAN, get 20% off. Go to betql.co for more information. The first game that I'm going to preview is the Navy ECU game, Navy East Carolina game. The midshipmen are 3-point favorites with the over-under set at 55.5 total points. I'm recommending that you lay the points with Navy tomorrow. East Carolina is one of the worst defensive teams in college football. The Pirates are giving up an average of 41 points per game. Now, Navy has not fared too much better defensively. They're surrendering 37 points per game. But Navy has shown in the last couple of years and even this season that they can score against teams that are sieves defensively. Their quarterback, Dalen Morris, has added a new dimension to the Navy offense. Now, Navy still relies almost exclusively on its option to create its offense. But Morris himself has only thrown 17 passes this season. But each time he's passed the ball, it's counted. He's passing for almost 12 yards per pass. As for the quarterback on East Carolina side, Holton Ahlers, he had a very good season last year statistically for the Pirates, but there were reportedly some COVID issues with East Carolina, and the rumors were that Ahlers was part of it. I don't know if that's been confirmed. I don't know if East Carolina is even permitted to confirm that information before game time. But all of that has led to Navy being favored in this game, and quite frankly, I think this is a steal. I know Navy hasn't looked impressive at times. They did come away with a victory against Temple last week, but this is a game that Navy should win outright, and I'm expecting to win outright. And I do expect them to win by quite a margin. East Carolina has not looked good in their defeats. They have not been able to keep games particularly close. When they've lost big. When they've won big, just like they did last week against a terrible South Florida team. Navy's going to be a really tough matchup for East Carolina. They're going to have trouble stopping the option, and Morris, if he's able to play, is going to be. I suspect he's going to surprise East Carolina with some deep passes that go for a lot of yardage and possibly some touchdowns. So I'm recommending that you lay the 3 points with Navy. I've seen it at 2.5 at some books here in Las Vegas, but I strongly recommend that you lay the points with Navy tomorrow. The second college football game that we are going to preview is the Army UTSA game, the University of Texas San Antonio. Army is an 8-point favorite with the over-under set at 49 total points. I'm recommending that you take the points with UTSA. I know we're looking at the two games that I'm going to be placing a wager on tomorrow are both Service Academy games. I've run well with my Service Academy bets this season. I think I've seen those teams well, and I think I have a decent understanding, at least thus far, as to the type of teams that they can compete against. While I certainly think Army can compete against UTSA, I don't think this is a situation that calls for them to be a road favorite of 8 points. Army has not fared well as a road favorite historically, let alone a road favorite of over a touchdown. And this UTSA team has just recently hung tough with UAB and BYU as well. UTSA was the first team to pretty much hang tough with BYU. Army is coming off back-to-back weeks in which they didn't have to face any legitimate competition. Army's last 2 opponents are the Citadel and Abilene Christian, 2 FCS opponents. And Army didn't look particularly compelling against the Citadel either. So I think it's going to be pretty tough for the guys at West Point to go from facing the 2 relative cupcakes on their schedule to facing a legitimate opponent in UTSA that's coming off facing an opponent as tough as BYU. So I think the prudent bet in this case is to take the points with UTSA. You don't even need them to win. You don't even need them to stay within a field goal. They can lose by as much as a normal touchdown. And I really think that UTSA is going to cover this game, even if they don't win outright. Army has this has not been a good spot for Army in the past. Now, if you want to find out what the BetQL model has to say about those games, you can go subscribe to it. Use the promo code CHAN if you want to get 20% off any BetQL subscription, which will give you access to the model that we just referenced. We'll also give you access to simulations that BetQL has run on every college football and every NFL game. You also want to go to BetQL for its soccer picks that are coming up as the soccer season is set to resume soon. So if you're interested in subscribing, use the promo code CHAN, get 20% off any BetQL subscription. If you need more information, go to betql.co. There's a wealth of free information available, as well as a bunch of articles that you can read for previews of other games. Moving on to the NFL for this Sunday, I am going to recommend that you take the points of the Browns against the Steelers. The Steelers are 3.5-point favorites against Cleveland. The over-under is set at 51 total points. I know that this has been historically a terrible situation for Cleveland. They haven't won at Pittsburgh since the start of the century, when Tommy Maddox was still quarterbacking for the Steelers. So I am going against history here, but I think there's been just a great disparity in terms of opponents that both teams have faced thus far. What I mean by that is that Pittsburgh's facing a much stronger opponent than they faced in their first 4 games. The Steelers have basically played 4 teams with a combined 2 wins, and they've also been fortunate to face two teams that were winless at the time that they faced them. So Pittsburgh has not faced particularly tough competition. By contrast, the Browns have faced 5 teams with a combined 10 wins on the season. So they have faced legitimate competition in every single game that they've had. In fact, I think, and quite frankly, the Browns have pretty much steamrolled much of their opposition. The closest game that they have had since they lost their opener against the Ravens has been against the Bengals, and that was only close due to a meaningless touchdown at the end for Cincinnati. So the Browns have pretty much steamrolled their opponents since their opening loss to the Ravens, and I think that I don't think the Steelers are better than the Browns or better than them by more than a field goal. You're getting a field goal. I'm recommending that you take the points of the Browns. I know it's tough to go pick a team that hasn't won in Pittsburgh for, I want to say 17 years now, but this does strike me as a different Browns team. The move to Kevin Stefanski as coach has worked wonders for them. They finally have transitioned to a running team fully, and I think that was one of the benefits of bringing in Stefanski, who comes from a Viking system that also emphasizes the run game. I know that move received a lot of criticism at the very beginning when he was hired, but it certainly has benefited the Browns to move to focus their offense and gear their offense around their running game. The last game that we're going to review is the Chiefs and the Bills. The Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites. This is the Monday night game. The over-under is set at 57.5 total points. I'm recommending that you lay the 4.5 with the Chiefs. The Bills are coming off a short week. It's 6 days, but it's a short week. They played Tuesday in Tennessee. They lost their first game. The Chiefs also lost their first game last weekend as well against the Raiders. The Chiefs have basically not looked particularly impressive against their division opponents, but they've pretty much dominated all of their non-division opponents. That strikes me as a sign that the Chiefs are not taking their division opponents particularly seriously, because they know they're going to win the division, but they are taking care of business against out of division opponents, whether it be the Ravens, the Texans, and I suspect it'll be the Patriots, and I suspect the Bills will fall in that category as well. So I think you're getting the Chiefs at a good price. The Bills have some injuries that are going to prevent key players from suiting up for this game. I think you're getting a really good price for this Monday night matchup, and it's probably something that's not, the line probably isn't going to get better for you. I'm going to be placing a wager on the Chiefs right now, as I don't see that line getting any better. But I'm recommending that you lay the 4.5 with the Chiefs for the Monday night football game. We have 2 Monday night football games this Monday, assuming nothing else goes awry. But those are my suggested picks for this weekend's and for this Monday's football games. I'm recommending that you lay the 3 with Navy, take the 8 with UTSA, take the 3.5 for the Browns, and lay the 4.5 for the Chiefs. If you want to find out what BetQL has to say about every single game on this weekend and this Monday's card, check out betql.co. If you want to subscribe, use the promo code CHANCE so you can get 20% off. Thank you for joining the Big Data Show this evening. Hopefully we've provided you with some useful information. We'll be back on Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Until then, good luck with your bets, and I hope you stay safe. Have a good evening, guys. Thanks for joining.